Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 20th of July 2019. We're going to reflect on Matthew 12:14 to 21. Listen. The Pharisees went out and conspired against Jesus how to destroy him. When Jesus became aware of this, he departed. Many crowds followed him, and he cured all of them, and he ordered them not to make him known. This was to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah. Here is my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, with whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he will proclaim justice to the Gentiles. He will not wrangle or cry aloud, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. He will not break a bruised reed or quench a smoldering wick, until he brings justice to victory, and in his name the Gentiles will hope. The Gospel of the Lord. Legalism is a killer, sometimes literally. When we write our own rules and give them more importance than God's rules, it infuriates us when people don't keep them, and we often want to kill them. What is true of us was true of the Pharisees of Jesus' time, and they were so angry that he wasn't keeping the laws that they had made, they decided to kill him. Now, Jesus had quite a large following, and he could have instigated a rebellion against the religious leaders, but he didn't. And although he had come to die, he didn't permit them to kill him because his time had not yet come. He still had his message to proclaim, and until that was done, nobody was going to lay a hand on him. But that was only half of today's passage. The second half contains a prophecy of Isaiah about Jesus, which teaches us a few things about the nature of Jesus that we might do well to emulate. 1. Jesus is referred to as a servant. It is not something that bothered him at all. In fact, on one occasion, he got to his knees before sinful man and washed his feet, doing something only a servant would do. How many of us would be able to do that without flinching? Jesus once said, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be a servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave, because just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and offer his life as a ransom for many." 2. Jesus was God's chosen one, and his obedience to the will of the Father pleased the latter immensely, especially his obedience to the death. Most of us would recoil at the very thought of death, and I wonder how many of us would be willing to die for our faith. 3. He would be filled with the Holy Spirit. If we recall the baptism of Jesus, we would remember that the Holy Spirit came upon Jesus like a dove, and a voice from heaven declared these very same words prophesied by Isaiah. Now, we too have the Holy Spirit, don't we? 4. Jesus was gentle and meek. Although he had many confrontations with the religious leaders of his time, he never entered into a slanging match with them or noisy arguments. And there is a big lesson for us over here. There are times we might need to debate a point, but we need to do it without getting worked up or defensive. And all these things might require some practice, but if we can't do that, then the world might get hope that they can do that too. Let's spend today reflecting on and practicing the nature of Jesus.